Hello YouTube. I think I might have a very serious problem and I don't know what it is. I have been smoking a blunt, so maybe this has a lot to do with why my thoughts are the way they are. Maybe it doesn't. I believe in smoking weed. It helps me realize deep shit about myself, and it scares the fuck out of me. I think I have a lot of problems and I don't know whether I'm crazy or not, but I'm hoping that somebody out there can identify with what I am going through. And I'm going to tell my story day by day. Some days I might go back in the past so you can get a deeper understanding of who I am. Some days I might just tell you everything that's currently going on. Like I said, I don't know what this disease is called, but the fact that I'm also not willing to show my face has a huge part, or is a huge part, of what I'm going through. So, like I said, I got high a couple hours, not even a couple hours actually, a couple minutes ago. And I'm sitting here and I'm writing down all my thoughts. I'm currently seeing a counselor and she's awesome. She does keep it real with me and everything that I do. She keeps it 100. And some of you also might comment on the way that I pronounce things, and I don't know, that has a lot to do with my insecurities, I guess. So I was thinking about a lot of issues that I've been having with socializing with people. I don't know how to socialize with people. I am terrible at it. Communication skills are so important and I lack the hell out of it. Excuse me. I have dry mouth. But growing up, I never felt beautiful. I don't know why. My mom told me that I was pretty many times, but you know, I actually do think I have an answer to why it is, and we'll get to that later, hopefully. The reason I said hopefully is because I forget a lot of my thoughts and I ramble on. I forget one thought and I skip to the other, as you can see me doing right now. But back to growing up, and see, there's another problem. Then I remember what I'm about to say. After high school, went to college, and I hung out with a lot of the same friends that I had in high school and a lot of the people that they attracted. And I never really felt connectiveness with anybody. And so after freshman year, a lot of those people, I stopped communicating with them and they stopped communicating with me. I don't know if it had a lot to do with how selfish I can be at times, or the fact that I'm just weird. But after freshman year, I didn't really have those friends anymore. Sophomore year, I struggled to make new friends, and I made a few new friends, people that were willing to hang out with me and invite me to things. But I always ended up having sex with one of the guys in the group. And I'm so ashamed and embarrassed of my body count. I also don't know my body count. I just kind of gave up keeping track. And that's disgusting. Like, no one's gonna ever fucking respect me, like, ever. I'm never gonna get married, probably. Excuse me if I get a little teary-eyed. I don't think I'm ever going to get married. And if you notice, I do complain a lot also. Instead of trying to move past that and say, I'm not gonna let this affect me like I should, I complain a lot. And it's because I don't know how to make the right choice sometimes, and I don't know how to make the right reactions. I tend to do stupid shit. But I struggle to keep that same group of friends throughout my sophomore and junior year. Senior year, it had narrowed down to a few group of girls. Actually, I still struggle to maintain relationships. I still keep in contact with the same small group of girls, the same 4 girls, but I tend to overreact to a lot of situations, and I think a lot of my reactions are perceived as crazy, and they are crazy. I think they are out of control. My emotions are out of control, and a lot of those people don't like that negative vibe or that negative attention. It's seen as an attention seeker, I guess. And I don't know, I just also struggle with having emotion. I don't feel like I have any emotion towards anybody but myself. And I don't mean to be that way. I want to know what it's like to give emotion to somebody and to receive emotion from somebody, real emotion. I don't want to get too deep into it yet, but I didn't really feel that emotion growing up from anybody. Whether people say they gave it to me, or people are going to say they gave it to me, and I do believe that they tried to give it to me, but I just didn't know how to receive it or accept it. And I forgot about the last thought that I was on already. All I know is I struggle to maintain relationships. And I also struggle to process thoughts, I think. I don't know why. Maybe it's the center of, I don't know how to really describe it, but I feel alone. I feel a lot of loneliness. And so a lot of times, all these thoughts are going on and on in my head over and over because I have nobody to really talk to. And so I just make up this world in my mind, and I process it with myself, which again, I don't know how to socialize with people. I don't know if it's called social anxiety or if I'm just gosh darn crazy. I don't know. Nobody's probably suffering with anything like this. And I've been taking down most of these notes, and it definitely scares the shit out of me, because I don't know if my counselor is going to be able to handle this. When I'm sitting in a social setting, I tend to say, quote unquote, the wrong thing. I try to think about the right thing to say because, one, I don't know how to identify with myself at all. I don't know what really I truly care about. I try to join groups and, get on diets and join the Natural Sisters group, because, one, I do like those groups, but 2, I also don't do enough information, really. I don't read about any of it to truly know if I care about it. I just join it because I think, oh, this is going to do wonders for me. Going natural, I did that because it seemed to work for everybody else. It's definitely going to work for me and my hair growth. And I think my hair is grown, but, I don't read about any of the things that I put into my hair. I just go to a natural food store, a natural product store, and I just buy things that I think sound... Well, I buy natural products, but, For example, if I go and get a bar of soap, I used to use a lot of black soap, and I still have the African black soap. I'm talking about the bars. I used to buy both, the bar and the African black soap. And, one day I walk into a beauty supply store and I see they have this company has different brands, and I decide to buy this orange bar of soap. And I can't lie, I did read a little bit about it, but, it wasn't something that I really truly cared enough about to go deep into the research of it. I just read the little summary on the box and I was like, yeah, this is going to work. And it's working a little bit, but another problem of mine is that I ramble a lot. I think I've said that. And I may repeat a lot of situations or sentences. And this is all supposed to tie back into me not being able to socialize with people and maintaining relationships. But, I'm reaching out for help. I really don't know what's going on with me. I don't want anyone to put me away in a mental institution because for some reason, in my mind, I think I'm too good for that. And I don't need any of their help. I don't need their medicines or their treatments. But I think a lot of people would put me away in a mental institution if they could. And that's sad because I'm just being myself and I don't know how else to be. My voice may sound really monotone and sound emotionlessness. See, I can't even pronounce the right word. But you all know what I'm talking about. It lacks emotion. And, people say that I roll my eyes a lot. I don't mean to do any of this stuff. I don't know why I am the way I am. People might think that I'm rude. Some people might think that I'm stupid. And some people might think that I'm crazy. I'm weird. I'm spoiled. I'm bipolar. I'm psychotic. I'm fake. I heard it all. Oh, actually, I may not have heard it all. People have texted me that's for sure. So I guess that can be said as the same thing as hearing it all. Because I can hear how they would say it or picture how they would say it. I actually have heard most of those names, but I think people are afraid to tell me the truth. I think so negatively about myself for some reason. I overanalyze every little thing I do over and over. I replay situations in my head. And I say, oh, I should have said that, or I should have said that. Why do I do that? Why do I go back and critique what I said because I didn't get the quote-unquote correct or right reaction to it? Or the right look? I definitely have been called ugly, though. I've been laughed at, been used, been taken advantage of. All of these things led up or can add up to someone who is emotionally unstable. And I am emotionally unstable. When somebody treats me nice, treats me well, treats me right, I'm loyal to them. You know, I tell them everything that they might want to hear. I gossip too much, so I'm messy, that's for sure. By the way, a lot of these thoughts I wrote down previously, so I'm trying to think about what I said, because I knew that I would forget these thoughts. That's another problem. I don't live in the present, I live in the past. How do I stop that from happening? How do I start learning to live a current life? Something just distracted me. I also stare a lot. I guess because I worry about people are looking at me. I think people are constantly judging me. And I'll stop doing what I'm doing because somebody is, quote unquote, looking at me and judging me. But they're probably really not. So, yeah, hopefully, like I said, somebody can diagnose this shit. Because I sure as hell can't. I might be seen as selfish, too. Definitely selfish, actually. But I have a lot of insecurities, and on top of not being able to socialize, so I have isolated myself completely from everybody. I don't mean to. Some people, like I said, I still do stay in contact with, but I tend to isolate myself. By self-harm. I cause all the drama. I'm dramatic. But all my actions are, you know, emotionally unstable, so that equals crazy. So people don't want to really fuck with that. I wouldn't want to fuck with that either. That sounds like it's just bad disaster. You know? But, you know, I never felt like I could do anything. I don't have any self-confidence still. I don't have self-respect. I let men take advantage of me so easily. I'm gonna have to start writing down topics that I want to talk about so I can stay on topic, because right now I have totally been on one big rant about myself. So I'm selfish. I think about myself, and I don't know how to talk about anybody. I don't know how to build or give connectors. So people don't want to give that to me. But I also don't feel worthy, and I just let guys take advantage of my vulnerability. It's so fucked up. I promise this leads back to all me not being able to socialize and maintain relationships, because that's what I started off with. So we're going to try to finish with that. But, you know, I don't feel comfortable in my own skin, I guess. And so when I'm constantly judging and thinking about what's going on in a situation, on top of it, I don't feel beautiful because men aren't hitting on me. On top of people make fun of the way I talk a lot. So I don't ever even want to really talk. It makes me afraid to say anything. You know, that's going to equal one shitstorm. Just a disaster. And I never guess I learned from those situations. I'm still having trouble with maintaining friendships and dating the right person. And I only realize all this when I'm high. When I'm sober, I wrote this down earlier, when I'm sober, I tend to live in this world of denial. You know, like, oh, everything's going to be fine, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get this, I'm going to buy this car with my new job. But in the past, I've gotten fired You know, and I've gotten fired for not being able to, I was never told why I got fired, but my boss, I used to be an intern at the Federal Reserve Bank in St. Louis, and my boss pulled me in one day and told me that I wasn't going to be anybody because I don't know how to socialize, I was never going to make it. You know, this rich white woman, I really don't fit in with white people. Like, they think I'm the weird, like, they think I'm especially weird. A few black people might fuck with me, but white people really don't fuck with me. And I was working with a lot of wealthy white people. And I don't know what to say to people. I stutter a lot. You know, I shake sometimes. I get so nervous. I shake. I don't talk. I look down a lot. I look around the room a lot. I look at the same people a lot. And that bothers them. People don't like being stared at. You know? Maybe I am being paranoid, but I swear this stuff really happens. Promise you that. I have no reason to lie. I'm not showing my face. This shit does really fucking happen. But, you know, I eventually got fired, and I was never told why. Except that I'm on my phone too much. I still did my work. Yes, I am on my phone too much. I live in my phone. I can't live in a social world for some reason. And I was off my phone a lot more once she had mentioned me being on my phone the first time. But I still got fired. And I was just upset that I never got told why. So I'm left with all these unanswered questions, you know, to let all these negative thoughts come in. Like, why did I get fired? Am I weird? You know, no. It could have been the fact that I would purposely skip work and go work out in the gym. Or, you know, it could have been the fact that I got up a lot to go to the bathroom to fix my leave out. Like, I brought a straightener with me to work. It was so hot that summer, my leave out from my weave would puff up, and I would feel so self-conscious that I would get up every 30 minutes or so and go to the bathroom and fix it. Because I'm so obsessed with my looks. Because that's how insecure I fucking am. And that's a huge ass problem. That's how much confidence I have. 0. So people don't want to fuck with me. I don't blame them. Don't fuck with me. You know, it would be nice to have some friends, but, you know, I'm sick of people making me feel uncomfortable. And maybe it is all in my head. Maybe they're not making me feel uncomfortable. Maybe it's the fact that I'm so uncomfortable with the way that I look that I can't fully function in conversation. And the fact that I'm always judging what I'm going to say, like what's the right thing to say, or if I do say something, I'll immediately be like, oh my gosh, that wasn't cool, that was so stupid, because I get the wrong facial expression or the wrong reaction. Or when I walk up to somebody that I work with, or I'm walking towards somebody, they put their head down like they don't see me. Or when I say good morning, you know, how are you? And people sound like, you know, they're not enthusiastic to see me. This is the kind of shit that goes on in my head. I think part of the reason why I don't talk a lot is because I got made fun of, and I still get made fun of, or talked about, or judged for the way that I talk. The way that I talk to black people is so white. You know, you sound so white. You know, and like, what am I supposed to do about that? I'm sorry, I wish I could change my voice, but this is the voice that God gave me, so deal with it, you motherfuckers, you know, like, it makes you just kind of like quiet down and never really have a voice. You know, a lot of times when I'm talking to, currently this has been going on, when I'm talking to family, they'll say I'm a weirdo. And I don't want to let this shit bother me. Like, I don't want to be a sensitive motherfucker. Like, nobody wants to be perceived as weak. You know, but when you get made fun of all your freaking life, like, you're not going to want to say anything. You're not going to want to even move. You're going to just want to be isolated because it's better off not being judged. But then when you're isolated, you realize that you're missing out on life totally. And you might die alone. Probably will die alone. And I have not accepted that. Lost my train of thought. Jeez, I was going on a good old rant right there and I lost my train of thought. I don't truly want to be alone. I do wish that I had friends, but I don't know how to make friends or keep friends. I'm not real. I'm fake. You know, I really am. I do certain things and I try to say certain things that I've seen or heard other people do, hoping that it will come off just as cool, you know, but it never does. And I don't really understand why. I'm also dramatic. My lips are so dry and they are bleeding. But I can be dramatic. You know, nobody's gonna want to fuck with this. I kind of have no self-identity and no self-worth, and I focus way too much on my looks. Like, I focus way too much on how I look and getting attention from somebody, and it gets in the way of life. Like, I've spent my entire life just trying to get a relationship because, well, not my entire life. I wasn't always a slut, but, you know, and yes, I am labeling myself because this is what I've been told that I am. Slut equals thought, so, you know, I'd rather use the word thought. But I spent my entire life trying to get attention from guys, and I thought sex would get attention from them for some reason. I don't know why why I think that way or feel that way, but if I don't get the right reaction out of a guy, I automatically, or I have done in the past, just given up my body to them. And, you know, no one's going to want somebody who's going to give it up that easy. I've definitely learned that. Oh, I've been talking for 30 minutes. You know what? I'm going to cut this video because this is a long rant.